Hello again and welcome to On Tour. It's the cricket program where we look back at the West Indies and Sri Lanka tour. It's, of course, the first test in North Sound, Antigua at the Sir Viv Richards Stadium. And we're going now to day number 3 after a very enthralling day on number 2. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, on day 1, the Sri Lankans were bowled out for 169 and the West Indies were 13 without loss overnight. Let's look at the scorecard now and see how things shaped up on day number 2. The Windies closing on 268 for 8, a lead of 99 runs. They were led by Rakeem Cornwall, who was demoted somewhat in the order, but he's top scored with 16 not out and has looked really good. Joshua De Silva, he made 46. In fact, they put on 90 runs in that partnership, rescuing the West Indies from 171 for 7 to 261 for 8 before De Silva went quite quickly just before play came to an end. Earlier, some enterprising knocks there from Kyle Mayers, who made 45, a swashbuckling innings. And John Campbell was rather sedated in making 42. Bonner, he also had a bit of a life, we'll tell you about that. He made 31. For the Sri Lankans, the day belonged to Suranga Lakmal, the most experienced bowler, age 34, the man from Watara there in Sri Lanka, 5 for 45, just passing 151 wickets in Test cricket. So then, the West Indies, they're in the driver's seat, you would have to say, and they have quite a number of people to thank. Let's go to our panel straight away. Of course, we have former West Indies and Barbados opening batsman Phil Wallace. Our BBC correspondent is the international man, Johnny Barron. And we'll start, first of all, tonight with none other than Sir Clive Lloyd, the former West Indies and Ghana cricket captain. Sir Clive, your thoughts on the West Indies after day 2?
Well, I think it was one of those days where things fluctuated. But I must say that the West Indies ended up quite well. And I thought that there are one or two things that I looked at, like their batting order. I think I don't think they've got it right yet. And there was a situation today where I thought that they could have milked the spinners, so that they would have had to bring the pacers back and they wouldn't have been able to bowl such long spells. We didn't rotate or strike as we should have. And I think those are the sort of things that they didn't do. But the point is that if you bat 100 and something balls on a pitch that is not really doing that much, that you should be able to look for singles and sort of, get to their score in a quicker way, and they probably would have been able to have a larger lead, because at 169, after if the West Indies got there with not losing too many wickets, they would have had to defend. So I think it was a very good day for the West Indies, and if they can add another 30 or 40 tomorrow, they were in a much better position.
Johnny Barron, Sri Lanka losing the initiative. They had the West Indies 171 for 7, but that partnership of 90 really sealed the deal for the Windies. How do you see it for the Sri Lankans after day 2?
I think, actually, I have to say, I felt Sri Lanka were arguably ahead at the point at which they took the new ball, because I think West Indies had a lead at that stage of 17 runs, but 3 wickets left. But you felt, well, West Indies were going to chase, and chasing, there isn't a great history of chasing at the Sir Vivian Richards ground. Just one chase over 100 of 102 by New Zealand back in 2012. But Rakeem Cornwall, having averaged 5 in Test cricket, coming into this game, demoted to number 9, I thought he batted superbly. And Joshua De Silva as well, averaging 40 in Test cricket, seems to get a score every time he comes to the wicket. I thought it was an exceptional fight back at the back end of the day. And I think just, tired legs from Sri Lanka really paid in those final 20 overs or so.
A 99-run lead, Phil Wallace.
Yes, Barry, a good run, a good lead thus far. Obviously, Cornwall has come to the fore and has played some very good shots. At least he looked like a batsman, and the batsman that we know he's capable of being, hitting the ball down the ground and hitting the ball over the top for sixes. And I thought today he showed good character, along with Joshua De Silva, who again shows that he's cut out for Test match cricket. Very calm, cool, and collective, and accumulator of runs, and has the ability to build partnerships in the bottom. So I think that 99-run lead If they can stretch it tomorrow, so Clyde say maybe get another 30 or 40 runs, well, the key will be Cornwall. We know if Roach look to play extra cover drive, he's going to get out. So it's Cornwall who has to do the scoring. And Roach will just have to hang in there and block and try to get up to over 120, 130 and put the pressure back on Sri Lanka to save the game.
Let's stick on Cornwall then. We're going to stay with him a little while. 60 not out. Of course, just some 9 fours and 2 sixes. He really plays some swashbuckling shots. Do you think that demotion to number 9 is what perhaps spurred him on? And perhaps he said to himself, there's no way that a bowler has to be batting before me. I've got to come and show them that I've got a couple of first-class centuries in list day cricket, and I can indeed bat. What spurred on that innings today from him?
When you look at Cornwall, obviously the demotion would have hurt him. For Alzari Joseph, another Antigua to come above him in the test match in the batting order. I agree. The only way Alzari should be above Cornwall is if he's going to open the bowling. But that would have obviously tell Rakim, look, you need to knuckle down and show us that you're really a cutout to be the spinning or rounder in West Indies cricket team. And today I thought he batted well. He also showed Barry some good signs of fitness. And I thought that his concentration was good. Joshua Silva played a big part. But I thought the way Richie approached the innings and when he got the bad balls, he used his power to great effect and hitting, pulling the ball for sixes or hitting over top for sixes. I thought it was very good. He didn't look too slow. He just played his ball as merit and executed the big shots very well. And I want to commend him. And we all hope that he can go on and get the magical 3 figures. It's not too far away, but it's just going to call for more application tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll definitely need the help of Kemar Roach to stick around a little bit. So, Clive, I want to put the question to you now in terms of Joshua De Silva. This young man from Trinidad and Tobago, age 22, has kept well. He's batting extremely well, very consistent. What is so good about him that he has been able to just come in this West Indies team and show his mettle straight away?
Well, I think I like the mental side of his cricket. He's never bothered about things. He plays very intelligent cricket. The temperament is good. And I feel that he's batting too low. I think he should bat further up.
Where's the Clive? Where's he going to bat?
Things together.
Where's he going to bat? Where would you put him to bat?
Oh, he's got to bat around 4 or 5. 4, I would think, because he's confident. He holds the side together. He creates partnerships. He did that in Bangladesh, and he's doing it here. But if he bats very low, it's a good thing that Cornwall held his own today, because then again he wouldn't have had a lot of people to bat with. He needs to bat with better players then in the middle, and I think that it would serve the West Indies much better if he's further up. I'm worried about Blackwood because he hasn't made any runs for quite a while now, and he's getting out with some. I don't think the ball that got him out is none of them really, apart from Campbell, got run to leave him quite quickly. I mean, the rest were not super balls of such, and I thought that we didn't realize that we should try and milk these spinners if they're getting, nobody's looking to, you played cricket in the old days, a tip and run, rotating the strike. This is what we needed to do today, and we probably would have gotten to that. Some guys 100 and something balls for 20 and 30, when they were not. It wasn't doing that much. We didn't rotate the strike, so that every time that the pacers come back, they were fresh, because we weren't taking advantage of the spinners.
All right, look, you're watching On Tour. We got to take a commercial break. When we come back, we still got Mears, we've got Bonner, we've got Campbell and Lackmal to look at and critically analyze. We'll be right back on FlowSports.
Put up your hand, it's time to party. Turn it up to the top, it's time to jump up. People, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand, it's time to...
Welcome back then to On Tour. Of course, we're just about a half an hour away or so from the third day's play. right here, live and exclusive on Flow Sports. And Barry Wilkinson, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go straight to our BBC correspondent, Johnny Barron. He's been tracking Lakmal. He's aged 34, but he's still looking quite fit, quite agile. Just past 150 wickets in Test cricket, the man from Mutara in Sri Lanka. And he got a 5 for 45. Did that really express how well he bowled on that pitch?
I thought he was really superb, actually. I mean, to be fair, I think Sri Lanka actually bowled up until the new ball. I thought they bowled really well all day. The West Indies, they never really got over 2 and a bit and over through the course of the day until, of course, that new ball was taken. But Lakmal was exceptional. 5 for 33 at one stage before his final spell. And he's going from strength to strength. I think he's got 15 wickets against the West Indies at 26. So certainly likes playing the West Indies. And actually, as a general rule, he tends to take his wickets cheaper away from Sri Lanka, which you can understand. I think overall at 34 apiece, he's got 156 wickets in Test cricket. And I thought he was exceptional today, truly.
But Philo, we say that, but then when you saw someone like Kyle Mears came into bat, Kyle Mears was beginning to take the initiative away from the Sri Lankans, and Lakmal's line and length at that particular stage did not look threatening. What was it so impressive about Kyle Mears in this little 45?
Special, Barry. He scored a double 100 on debut, and he's full of confidence. And I know Kyle Mears, once he gets in, he's going to hit the ball, he's going to play shots. And we saw some glimpses of it today. Unfortunately, he drove at a left ball from Lakmal and I went to second slip. But he decided, look, I'm going to play my shots. I'm going to back myself with my ability. And he got into good positions. I know I've heard Sir Clive say that he reminds him of McGill, but I think Kyle Mears reminds me of Clive Lloyd. I think he hits the ball with tremendous power. And he has that sense of purpose. He's very team aware. And I thought he came in today and he took the initiative away from the Sri Lankans. But unfortunately, he didn't carry on. But I thought he batted well.
Does he remind you of yourself back in the day, Sir Clive?
This guy, look, he's got confidence. There's no doubt about that. And he played some. Yeah. And that's the attitude that the rest should have taken to the spinners. Nobody took them on. Nobody used their feet and tried to drive them down the ground and so on. That's what we needed to do, so that when, they would have had to take them off, they were getting 6 or 7 and over, because we would have been quite close to their score. And I think he played the right sort of innings. He's a confident young man, and it's obvious that I think he if he bats like that, he'll continue to do well. He's a good strike of the ball, and he's confident. And if you have confidence in yourself, well, now you're halfway there.
I want to talk about John Campbell there, Johnny Barron, because John Campbell played a very uncharacteristic kind of innings. 42, he batted for a lot of balls. In fact, Sir Curly Ambrose was, I wouldn't say critical, but he did mention that he thought that his uncharacteristic batting was what was his undoing in the end. Your thoughts on John Campbell's innings of 42 at the top?
I thought he did okay. I think there was a danger that the West Indies could have, if they lost a few wickets early on this morning, there could have been some real trouble, you feel. And I thought Sri Lanka were really exceptional with the ball in those conditions. And I think 42 at the top of the order, to be honest, is a fair reflection of his work out there. And I think it gave West Indies an opportunity to build the platform. I think perhaps you could argue that maybe one of the problems the West Indies had through the course of the day is they weren't rotating the strike enough, and they weren't really putting Sri Lanka, the bowlers, under enough pressure until the legs were tired at the end. But I think 42 is a fair reflection and an important contribution at the top of the order.
Philo, Nkrumah Bonner in the side, a lot of people felt perhaps even though he had those couple of half centuries in Bangladesh, that position should have gone to Darren Bravo. May 31, had a chance because he was out, I think it was on 17 or so, but it was a no ball. Did he make the best use of his opportunity and the conditions here in North-South?
But Barry, it would have been hard to drop Nkrumah Bonner in this first test match after what he's done in Bangladesh. And I will say it again, Bravo is lucky to be in this test squad. His past performances in the last 2 series. I really look at Bonner. I think I saw a little fault in his batting. His left foot doesn't move towards the ball. His left foot stays inside the ball. And that is something
is that why
obviously
he was getting
the batting,
on the pad so often?
And I think that's something that the batting consultant, Monty Desai, has to work on. I would love to hear from him and his processes of what he's doing with these young batsmen. But I think that Bonner deserves the opportunity to bat at number 3. And I think that as he gets into number 3, he'll become a better player for us. I think he has the temperament. He's quite cool. He reminds me of Carl Hooper. Quite cool in temperament. Not in the same flair, but very, very cool. And I think that is what we need at number 3. And I hope that he can just learn quickly and try to improve in the second innings and get better as the test series goes along, because I think he's deserving to bat at number 3 in this test series.
I want to bring Craig Brathwaite into perspective here just for a minute on the program. Captain, perhaps many people feel that was the right move. Some don't feel it was the right move. But he continues to fail with the bat. How much of pressure is that going to be on him to try and score runs and still try and lead the team to victories that he's been appointed to do?
Well, Craig Brathwaite, first of all, has to remember he's a batsman. And when he's at the crease, he's a batsman. He's captain, yes, but he captains when he's fielding. You see him making all the field changes. But when you're batting, you're a batsman. And he just needs to bat. I think today that the shot he played was a nothing shot. Ball bouncing outside the off stump. He's just firing his bat at it, and he got caught at second slip, a nothing shot, and that's what you get. I think he just needs to sometimes leave the ball alone and try to get himself back into where he's supposed to be. Just looking to push the ball into the gaps and get into a rhythm. We saw John Campbell trying today to do that. Bat very long, a lot of balls. But I think Craig Brathwaite has to remember that when he's batting, he's a batsman, and forget the captaincy business when he's batting.
All right, well said. Very well said there. You're watching On Tour. When we come back, we'll hear from Rakeem Jimbo Cornwall right here on our program. Stay with us.
Put up your hand, it's time to party. Turn it up to the top, it's time to jump up. People, are you ready? Windies in the land, just put up your hand, it's time.
Welcome back then to On Tour. We will just join the coverage about 15 minutes to the hour, so don't you worry. And we'll look very carefully at how the West Indies, not only how they batted on day 2, but what they should look to do on day 3 as we examine what's going on in this test series. Scores again, Sri Lanka 169, the West Indies 268 for 8 as they move in with a lead now of 99 runs. The player of the day, undoubtedly, Rakeem Cornwall, close between himself and Lackmell, 5 for 45, but Cornwall, with 16 not out, was the player of the day, and he spoke to the media after the day's play.
Rakeem Cornwall, a warm congratulations. Unbeaten 60, it's your first Test half-century, and you're the first Antiguan to score a Test half-century at the Sir Vivian Richards ground. 2 days before this test started, you told a reporter, "I've come to make a score. Tell the world I've come to make a score." Can you talk me through your thinking and your approach to this innings?
Yeah, I have good batting skills. Try my best to bat with Joshua and try to get us to a decent score and just back myself.
So what gave you the feeling beforehand?
Well, it's just confidence. I put in some work in the nest with the batting coach, and I tell myself I have to score some runs. I'm not showing the best that I can do with the bat, and I think this is a game.
It was a wonderful partnership with Joshua De Silva, 90 runs off that. Some of your best moments?
Yeah, well, Josh just take me through the innings as we go and tell me about myself. I think Josh batted really well, and we just keep on with the momentum that go with us and try to take it as far as possible.
It was such an electrical innings. We lost power upstairs. I'm sure all of Antigua will be watching to see the replays of that. You've put your team in good stead. How do you feel at the close of play today, day 2?
I think we're in a good position. I feel good. We just have to come tomorrow, take the first hour, and then we can set up the game as much as possible so we can have something to run at them in the second innings.
Thank you, and well done, Rakeem.
Thank you.
Great stuff there from Rakeem Jimbo Cornwall. We hope he continues and get those 40 runs that would take him to his first Test century. So, Clive, a lot has been made about Rakeem Cornwall, his size, his fitness. Do you think that matters? Because when he's not doing well with the ball, he's performing like he has been today with the bat.
Well, Barry, in this case, size doesn't matter. He's doing extremely well. He's a very good slip fielder. I haven't seen him drop any catches yet. He's batted intelligently today, and I think that they must think of him batting a little further up in the order, at least before Alzari. And I hope he gets very close to his 100 or his 100 if Roach can stay with him. because he's now put them in a very good position. If they can get another 30 runs, I'm sure 30, 40 runs, I think they will be really in the top of the game.
And how do you see it for the Sri Lankans, Johnny Barron? Because they'll be worried about that lead, which is going to perhaps peak over a little bit of over 100.
Yeah, I mean, it will present a bit of a problem for them. But I think, actually, if you look at the first test against England, they were bundled out on that occasion for 135. And in the second innings, made 359 and nearly defended around about 60 or 70 against England in that fourth innings, with Embal Denya just turning it all over the place. So Sri Lanka have to take a bit of hope from that particular performance and think if they do concede a lead and then put a big score on the board, they can put West Indies under a bit of pressure in the fourth innings. But time will tell.
Philo Wallace?
I hope there'll be no alarms tomorrow, Barry. West Indies obviously in the driver's seat. All eyes will be on Raheem Cornwall on how well he can restart from 60 not out and try to get close to 100 or even go on to get 100. But he will need the support of Kemar Roach. And if he can get Kemar Roach to support him well, and if he doesn't, well, Shannon Gabriel will have to come in and try to do the business. But I think that all in all, West Indies had a good day. It was a topsy-turvy day, but they show character. And obviously, they're on top. And let's hope that they can continue to be on top and put pressure on Sri Lanka when they go in their second innings to bat.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Philo Wallace, Johnny Barron, Sir Clive Lloyd. If you can't watch the action live on FlowSports, don't you worry. We got the highlight show for you on tour. I'm Barry Wilkinson. We're going to rejoin the action in just a minute. But until then, bye-bye. Until tomorrow.